Morning. So I'm sitting here planning some content that I want to batch record this weekend, and I thought I'd give you guys a sense of what that process looks like, what my thinking is, and how I'm surviving, how I'm making it work. Behind the scenes of this daily posting challenge that I'm doing, I think I'm closing in on if it's not closing in on 75, then I'm closing in on 80. Wasn't very consistent in the beginning. It took me a second to like find my footing, but I want to say that I've been consistent for at least 2 months now or something like that. Is that, well, yeah. So if it's been 75 days, I've been consistent for like 40 plus, just like back to back, back to back. And what helps me a lot is writing down the ideas that come to my mind and batch recording. That helps me a lot because I'm working full time. And my commute takes up all my time. It takes up my entire day. And so once my week starts, there's no time for me um to sit and record content and things. I leave the house early, I come home late, and I come home and I'm tired and I'm like, I gotta do a video. I did a video yesterday. I scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I didn't have the time to make one more video, and I recorded it yesterday right before going to work. Uploaded it, and then like just like schedule it to go out yesterday. We making it work. Like I feel like I'm doing this challenge inspired by Glow. Shout out Glow. And I'm just like, Glow, you don't understand, I gotta go to work. But I'm like, if you want to do the thing, you find a way to make it work. So what I do is I batch for the weekdays, and then during the week, if I get inspiration, I'll just record it and I'll just like schedule it for some time down. Like so I'm technically recording every single day, but there's like I don't even know what to call. Is it a retainer or something? There's a video already scheduled for that day, but like on the day of, if I get an idea, I just schedule it for another day. I just post it or whatever. So that's what's helped me a lot. So I'm gonna give you a sense of what my process looks like. I have a couple things in front of me. So I have sticky notes. During the week when I wake up with an idea, I write it all down. And sometimes, like, for example, for my content video that I did about like when you don't have content capacity, I had like the whole structure of the video on the sticky note, like, okay, I'm gonna go point by point, and then I just like spoke through these, so that was very helpful. So yeah, so yesterday I made a video talking about courage. Actually, I've been talking about it for a hot minute, but I made a video talking about courage. And in that video, it was like it was rough because like I was like I was figuring it out as I went along with it. So I'm really glad that I shared the John Maxwell daily devotional, because that was so perfect for it. So I want to make a part two of that courage video where I go over that quote again. Let me read y'all that quote, girl, because it gave me life. So that's one video. Because there's some more that I wanted to get into, but I literally couldn't because I had to run off to go to work. Let me just pull it up real quick. But I wanted to talk about, and then here's another sticky note. I wanted to talk about, it's just, you must do the thing you cannot do. Is that the John Maxwell quote? Let me see. Because I want to talk about it. Yes. Oh, it's an Eleanor Roosevelt quote, but he quoted it in the daily devotional. That was for April 3rd, 29th. It was the day talking about courage. I made the video about courage, talking about this daily devotional, and talk about how I'm navigating, how I'm being courageous in this season, the different things that challenge me, the lessons that I'm learning. And so this is the Eleanor Roosevelt quote that's giving me life right now. I want to write it down. When I like a quote, I write it down and I memorize it so I can just be like, da, 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 da. For example, one of my favorite quotes right now is by Vanessa Aldrich, it's on my computer. This flaccid manner of going about life is beneath the dignity of what it means to be human and betrays this unconditional love that you've been granted. Does that not make you want to get up and run a marathon? This flaccid manner of going about life. Do you know how much of a gift it is that you woke up this morning? Do you know how much of a gift it is that you get to be alive? You have yet another day to pursue your dreams, to go after the life you want. And this is what you want to do? She read me for filth. It's on my computer. It's on my work laptop. It's on my Kindle. It's here. It's everywhere. And I'm like, anytime that I'm like, I don't want to, I'm like, this flaccid manner of going about life is beneath the dignity of what it means to be a human. And it betrays this unconditional love that you've been granted. Link, get up. Okay, so this Eleanor Roosevelt quote is also going to be another one that gives me life. So we're definitely going to talk about it again because I really want to take some time to dissect it. Eleanor Roosevelt quote. Okay, so the quote says, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look at fear in the eye. In the face, sorry. In the face. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through the horror." Oh, wait, sorry. Why am I not able to read? Okay, wait. You can stop and say to yourself, I lived through this horror. You know what I mean? Like everything that you face and that you overcome, like whatever that hardship was, you overcame it. Later on, you're able to be like, I lived through that. I overcame that. Somehow, some way, I found my way through. I can take the next thing that comes my way. I also do this thing where as I'm reading it, I like will read it the way I want to read it. So you'll see I'll trip over quotes when I'm reading them because I want to read it the way I want to read it. The way that makes sense to me. That's what helps it stick. But you gain strength. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you did something that was hard. You did something that was difficult. You look fear in the eye. You look yourself in the eye like, hey, I'm going to get through this, girl. We going to lock in. We going to get through this. And you said, I lived through that. You overcame that. The thing last year that you were like, how am I going to get over this? The thing last year that you were like, there's no way I'm going to get it out of this. Like, was it this time last year? I was like in the darkest place. I was like, what will become? Like, I was living in so much fear, so much worry. I was like, I was like sedating myself. I was navigating in a season of anxiety, a season of depression. I was in the darkest place. To now be like a year later, if I overcame that, if I overcame being unemployed at the end of 2024 and showing up for myself and taking care of myself and pulling through, and then this came and then that came and then this grant came and then that opportunity came and I built a business and I'm doing projects and I'm building relationships. If I was able to do that, girl, there's nothing I can do. That's the audacity that I've developed. There's nothing I cannot do in this life and in this world. Okay, so yeah, this quote, I'm just gonna read it for y'all one more time. Write it down. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes my way. All right? You must do the thing you think you cannot do. So that's what I wrote here. And you have to do the thing you cannot do. So that's what I'm gonna talk about in my courage video part 2. And I wanted to talk about, so I've been watching a lot of like moving videos, y'all. I've been binging my moving videos, and there's a video where there is this woman who recently moved to Africa, and she's been wanting to move since she was 19 years old, but she didn't do it until she was 74. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm very inspired by her story. I want to talk about that. So that's my courage video. Okay. I also wanted to talk about Issa Rae. I made a video a couple months ago talking about how I noticed that Issa Rae was in a creative block. Not that I noticed, she said it. She sat in conversation with Kev on stage, and even I noticed it. Can I say I noticed it? Like, I know, like, I'm like, I don't know, like, I read people's presence. I can read your presence, you know, by the grace of God. Hello. Not that kind of energy. But like, she was just kind of like very like, you know, like, I think I'm navigating this creative slump. And then she sat down in conversation with Emma on Aspire, and she said it again. She's like, I don't know, it's been like a weird season for me. Like, I'm feeling inspired, but there's so much blockade. And when I have a creative idea, I have to ask this person, I have to ask that person, it has to be greenlit. And then 17 years later, we shoot the pilot, and they may decide to cut it. And then when we do produce a show, they decide if they want to renew it. And she's like, I don't know. I'm in a funk. I'm in a funk. And I felt that same energy on both podcasts. She sat down with Kev on stage. She sat down with Emma on Aspire, and it was just like, come to find out, my good sis is taking back her power. And she released a show on TikTok. I believe it's 27 episodes. I could be wrong, or maybe it's so far. I haven't watched it yet. I only watched like 2 episodes in. It's a good time. I want to sit through it. I want to fully watch it. This is this weekend. And I want to talk about it because going from, like, Issa Rae started off on the internet producing Misadventures of, you know, Awkward Black Girl and like other shows on YouTube. She got her start on YouTube, made it big, got Hollywood to invest and pour into her ideas, and you know what I mean, do such amazing, so many amazing, like, culture shaping, like, we will never stop talking about Insecure. We will never, you know what I mean, like, culture shaping, like, key moments in the zeitgeist. And for this person to be like, oh, I'm in creative rut, for this person to be like, I have to go above and beyond to prove to these people that I have this idea, for this person to be like, these people don't really be understanding when I say that I'm making this for Black people, I'm making this for this type of person, da, 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 da. You know. And so that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about screen time. It's gonna be like a review of screen time, but also creative, what is it, creative hump, what's it called, creative block. Issa Rae's creative block, and then a brief review of screen time. I'm gonna watch that this weekend, and I'm gonna make that video. Okay, so we're 2 videos in, you see, 2 videos. Okay, put that to the side. This, and then I also have a note on my phone that's like just called YouTube, and then I just like, I tried to do this thing where I go by category. So I have one that's like mindset and tools and photography, but I'm figuring it out. This is all brand new. So what I like is, like, when I go by week, it's like, what topics, what ideas came into my mind this week. And so let's see what ideas came into my mind. Yep. Yeah, Issa Rae, make the things you want to see. The approval you're waiting for is never gonna come. I wanted to make a video talking about Emma, but I didn't want to talk about it until I did not like proper research. Until what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to watch the episode with, I'm very selective about who I listen to. I'm very selective about who I listen to. So I don't listen to every podcast just because it's popular, just because everybody's listening to it. Right now, yeah, I listen to Kev on Stage, the whole entire Kev on Stage universe, is my house. What other podcast? The Financial Diet, when they produce videos, they don't, not that, well, different, they do limited time podcasts. Who am I listening to? Kim on Stage, Financial Diet. I love me some baby. This is Keke Palmer. I love her. I love her cadence. I love the way she asks questions. And also a lot of the times the people don't be good interviewers, actually. So I'm just like, what am I doing? Like sometimes I'll find myself listening to a new podcast if I like the guest. I want to hear that guest story. Then I find myself like I had moments where it's like I had a Tracy Ellis Ross moment. So I watched her sit in conversation with Emma. I watched her sit in conversation with all the people. I had a Bosma St. John moment. So I watched her sit in conversation with Emma. So that's how I ended up watching Aspire, but I don't really watch Aspire. I watch people that I like sit in conversation with Emma. You know what I mean? You get to know the host more, but I want to hear more about this person's story, this person's journey. So Tracy, Bosma, Issa, I watched her in conversation with different people because I watched the Kim on Stage episode and then I saw that she was doing other interviews. I said, let's hear different angles of her story, you know, and all the things matched up. So I say all that to say that Emma, I haven't really gotten to know Emma. I don't really know the lady for real. I just like some of the dope black women she's had on her podcast. And so I want to get to know about her. And I don't want to just like watch 2 episodes of Aspire. Anyway, I saw that to say I like Keke Palmer. I actually love her structure, the way she asks questions, what she gets into. So I like the host and I'm interested in the guests. A lot of times I don't really know about the host, but I really want to hear from the guests. But this is one of the rare moments where the Venn diagram lines up. I love the host. Let's see what this guest is talking about. Okay. So we're gonna do Keke Palmer x Emma. So I'm gonna watch the podcast and then I'm gonna talk about being a career woman. My journey as a career woman who is dreading my office job. Are you serious? A job that I can do from home, which is like, I mean, a small portion of the conversation, right? Because she's using controversial topics to keep this book launch alive. But I'm a career woman who I have a horrible commute of 4 to 6 hours a day, unnecessarily. And anyways, I'm gonna share my perspective about that. But I want it to be properly prepped. I don't know, just want to join the conversation, just be talking stuff. You know what I mean? Oh, and another one is, yes, everything that I applied for, everything I applied for in April. This is a recurring video series where I share all the things that I apply for, grants, residencies, whether I apply for it or not. I'm just gonna say this was on my radar, and then people kind of keep an eye out for opportunities, join their newsletter, you know what I'm saying? So every month I started this in February, so I did a January, February one, I did March, now I'm about to record April, so it's becoming a thing. Okay, and then everything I applied for in April. I wanted to talk about this this week. So again, I'm reading Big Leap. I'm reading Your Big Leap Year. And one of the reflections that Gay Hendricks had us do was like, calculate how much time you spend working in your zone of genius. I need to pull it up. It's like, figure out like how much time do you spend in your zone of genius. Focusing on the 4 zones. Boom, boom, boom. I love this because it's just like, yep. Tracking your zone of genius. I'm gonna read it. I'm talking about it. I might as well read it. So tracking your genius. Today, I offer you a bold possibility, something I practice with great benefit. I found that my genius emerged faster when I tracked it. Okay. At first, I tracked my genius in minutes because I wasn't spending enough genius time every day to track it in hours. So at first it's kind of like a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Okay. However, as I often tell my students, genius is addictive. Within a few months of tracking the minutes each day I was doing what I most love to do, I found I was counting it in hours. Today's Leap gives you a simple way to get started. Look at your calendar for yesterday, scan through the day in your activities, hour by hour. Count the number of minutes or hours you are doing what you most love to do. All right. When I first started doing this, I was surprised to find how few minutes I was actually in my Genius. Tracking it become a motivational tool for me, as I hope it will be for you. Going forward, note the minutes you spend in the flow of your Genius and watch them turn into hours. It's so good because like I was so aware of that this week, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about this. Is day 16 in your big leap year. If you ever want to get into a big leap, they have a daily devotional, your big leap year, where you get bite sizes every day to think about. This is better for me, but I do have the book somewhere, child. It's hiding somewhere. I don't want to find it. So your big leap year, time spent in my zone of genius. And I want to say I had a really good week. I had a really good week spending time in my zone of genius. Okay. I'm gonna talk about that. Lean in on your strengths. I'm gonna talk about that eventually, but I want to fish that out a little bit more. Issa Rae. Anything else that was in mind for me? Sticky notes. Nope. That's it. I got everything. Boom, boom, boom. I got everything. Anything else? My brain works best with repetition. My brain works best with repetition. It does. I want to talk about daily, like the magic of daily practice, or like daily, whatever, a daily practice of committing to a daily practice. Not, I might need some more time to flesh that out some more, but it's strange because some of them was like I just need one sentence and I'm good to go, and some of them I was like I want to sit with that more. So yeah, here are my videos, y'all. Here are all the videos that I have coming up. I'm gonna talk about courage, how I'm navigating courage, lessons on courage. Why is that the word that's stalking me in this season? Today's Friday. Over the weekend, I'm gonna watch the Keke Palmer and Emma episode to hear more about Emma's philosophy, because I don't really know that lady for real. She could be walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. I'm sorry to that woman. But yeah, I'm gonna watch the podcast. Maybe actually today while I'm doing laundry. I'll just have it. I love a podcast while I'm doing laundry. Actually, that's perfect. So that I can be able to shape my thoughts and talk about it. And then everything that I applied for in April, I'm gonna talk about the things, and then what I'm hoping to apply for in May. That's a good recurring video where I share a lot of resources. And then I'm going to talk about Issa Rae. I'm going to watch Screen Time this weekend. And I'm going to talk about Issa Rae because I called it months ago. I said, this lady is in a creative slump. And I love to see that she's creating again. She's taking back control of her creativity. Let me write it down, so I don't forget. Take back control. Jeez. Take back control of your creativity. Okay, girl, do the things you want to do. Do the things you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Okay? And then big leap year. Talking about time that I spent in my zone of genius this week. Is that 5 or 6? 2, 4, 5. 5 videos that I'm hoping to record over the next 3 days. Okay? Between today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. Oh my gosh, this is not all the videos for next week, because I was going to say 2 of them is going to be for this weekend, 3 of them for next week. But again, on Saturday, if another video pops up, so this is Saturday, Sunday. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then if I have something else, girl, I have Thursday, Friday ready to go. Do you see how that helps my life? And while I'm going to that job and stressing, I don't have to worry. My videos are going up, all right? So I just wanted to give you guys a look into how I plan my content, the strategies that work best for me that are helping me in this season. Listen, it's tough, but I'm making it work. And I'm trying my best to show up for myself every single day. So, yeah, if this is helpful in any way, please let me know in the comments. What are y'all working through? Are y'all joining this challenge? Anybody else doing this crazy thing? It's a crazy thing to try to do, so I wouldn't I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But let's get it in the comments, all right? Y'all take it easy.